Some moments pass so quickly, you don't realize their weight until they're already gone. A flight you didn't board, a word you didn't say, a choice that seemed small until it changed everything. This is the world of missed opportunities, where silence echoes louder than action, and inaction becomes its own kind of decision. We tell ourselves there will be time. We wait for the perfect moment, but time doesn't wait, and perfect rarely shows up. In this episode, we crack open those doors that we never opened, about the moments we let slip, the dreams we buried, and the haunting power of what might have been. Because sometimes the greatest stories are the ones that never happened.
Welcome to the Retrospect podcast, a show where people come together from different walks of life and discuss a topic from their generation's perspective. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Jason.
Hello, everyone.
And Stoney.
Hello.
We got the gang back together.
The gang is back together.
You guys, I know you went on a vacation.
Yes,
what kind of vacation did you go on?
Me and the girlfriend went to Glacier, East Glacier, Montana. I've been there. This is my third trip now to Montana.
Okay.
I
want to go so bad.
I went back in 21 with the same group that I kind of went with on this trip.
Nice.
Before that, I went on a business-related trip to actually Helena, Montana. So I got to see their state capital, and that was a little different.
Well, if you went with a bunch of people you knew before, it was probably a really boring trip, right?
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
I'm going to tell you.
What? No, it wasn't boring?
It was not boring. But
what happened?
I
have a feeling that Stoney's...
I asked my girlfriend for her hand in marriage.
Yeah, there we go.
I was going to say.
So
Stoney's trying his hardest to be sly.
The original plan was, I was going to do it on this trip.
Yeah.
But I didn't know when. Mm-hmm. That was the question.
Of course.
I was like, okay, do I do it in the beginning? Do I do it at the end?
Yeah.
Do I, how
and
do
I told him if she suspects, make it go till the end. Wait to the last day.
But it was like, I'm going to do it the first day. So the first day that we prepared, we got the hike, we got to where we were going to go, and we went to the Grinnell Glacier trail.
Okay.
That was going to take us to Grinnell Glacier Lake.
Right.
Which was about a 12-mile hike.
Nice.
The original goal was to ask her on top of the mountain.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. But something in me just kept saying, Jason, you better do it now. You better do it before we get too far up the trail.
Yeah.
Thank goodness I did.
Okay.
Because by the time we got to the top, it was raining, and my hands were almost frostbit.
Stop.
It was that cold in July. So we were about a mile into the hike, and we were crossing over a really pretty wooden bridge with a stream going underneath it, mountains in the background. And I said, the other friends are with me because I told her, I said, look, I'm going to give you a cue. When I'm ready to do this, you start filming.
Yeah.
So we were taking pictures, and everybody was at the bridge, and then I kind of gave a little sign, and I kind of told her, I said, hey, we're going to take some more photos, and everybody kind of left.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, boom, I get on my knee and do the deal. So, yes, it was a very emotional moment.
So there's video evidence of this?
Yes, there's a video.
Sometimes you got to trust your gut.
There is a video, and that will be personal,
well, of course,
and private,
right.
and I don't think.
What the
I
hell?
don't think. Tracy's not. She's not one to. She will not put that out.
Right.
I'm leaving it up to her of how she kind of conveys this information out.
Right,
Now, I mean,
right.
of course, all the close people know.
Of
I mean, her
course.
family, and we all know, everybody knows. But as far as kind of putting it out there, I'm leaving that up to her how she wants to do that.
Right.
So, but yes.
Is it okay that we're talking about it on the podcast?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fine because she asked me, "You going to talk about the podcast?" I said, "Yeah, I am."
She's trying to keep it secret. I think our listener base is.
I just let her how she wants
Of
to kind
course.
of put it out on Facebook
yeah.
and stuff like that. So I said, well, just let me know. Then I can change my profile
Yeah.
to
Oh,
engaged or
What a-
whatever the case may
what a
be.
great-
How that works there.
What a
But-
great what a great personal story that leads into like this episode.
Oh
I feel
yes,
like.
this fits perfect.
Oh, man.
Well, I
into-
got a question.
Go ahead.
Right before that.
yeah.
So when y'all get married and y'all become husband and wife, does
Right.
that mean she becomes your ex-girlfriend?
Yes,
Okay.
that's right.
I just wanted to know.
Yeah, we're gonna be.
Mm.
We're gonna be. It's gonna be busy next few weeks, but I
Yeah.
think for
Y'all getting married in a couple of weeks?
No, not. No, it'll probably be in the spring.
I was thinking like, wait, what?
Yeah, it'll probably be in the spring because I mean we gotta get with the church and you gotta.
Of course.
There's certain things you gotta do and
Yeah.
and all that. And she's starting a new job, so she kind of wants to
Of course.
get her feet in and kind of.
When you still got it, you still got to figure out your whole house situation too.
Yeah,
like
well,
you're talking
we've
about,
got it figured out pretty good. I mean,
Okay.
we traveled well together. I was
awesome.
very impressed because we had a small room. The lodging arrangements. I stayed in this same historic lodge
Yeah.
back in 21, but I was on the first floor
Okay.
on that trip, and this trip we were on the third floor, and there's no elevator
Oh gosh.
in this historic
Oh,
hotel. This hotel is like built in like 1905. It's listed on the National Historic Register. It's a beautiful hotel. It really is.
Right.
The problem is your reception is terrible
Of
because
course.
being on the east side of the park, you're right there really on top of Indian Reservation. And so there's just not, I mean, they have Wi-Fi, but the Wi-Fi was just not very reliable. So I'll be very curious what sort of review Tracy's going to leave
Right.
for this lodge. But we had to ask them like 3 times to clean our room.
No.
They didn't bring us towels. They didn't bring us toilet paper. Had to request that.
Yikes.
It was just basically she said we'll never stay here again. Which-
So the lodge had a missed opportunity to give
the
y'all
lodge
nice
had a
stay.
missed opportunity, but it's just you kind of they need to kind of get into the modern age a little bit on the
Yeah.
electronic side. I think there are some restrictions that hotel has because of its designation on the register. So there's probably some things they just can't do to it.
Yeah.
But
Well, a lot of the things too, though, like when I spent some time in Colorado and that area, people want to go away to get away from the technology.
right.
And so maybe they offer a place you can go to, disconnect
Right.
and hike
Right.
and do other things than be on your electronics. And so getting into the technology age, I'm not so sure. I kind of like still, Magnus and Miranda, oh, you left your phone. I don't care if I left my phone on the table. I don't need my phone up my butt,
Well,
24/7.
and I agree.
And they're so big
I
now,
just-
it's uncomfortable.
I still think though that in your room, yeah,
Sorry. Okay.
I still think in your room you should be able to make a phone call, be able to access the
Well,
internet.
they didn't have a room. They didn't have a phone.
They had a phone that goes to the front desk.
Well, then you could still make a phone call.
Yeah, but that's not what we were
yeah.
looking for. And so there are some other options that if we go back, and not say if we go back, we will go back. I tell people all the time, Glacier National Park is something you have to go see in person. Pictures, TV does not do it justice. We hiked. We did a 12-mile hike the first day. We followed that up with a 14-mile hike the next day.
Wow.
And we climbed all the way up to what they call the Grinnell Lake Overlook, where we were about 7,500 feet.
Dang.
And we climbed the last little part is you climb 1,000 feet in about 0.8 of a mile.
Oh my gosh.
So it's pretty steep.
God.
So it's kind of one of those things you take about 20 to 30 steps, you got to stop.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm in shape, and I was stopping. I mean, it was.
Was there any like oxygen situation where like
I didn't
going
really
that high?
necessarily have any issues with that. I think it's really when you get above 8,000 feet where I think you might have some issues with that. But I didn't recall like sucking air.
Right.
It was
when
just.
I was in Colorado, I was above the 8,000.
yeah.
Yeah, I think anything.
feel
I think
it.
when you get above 8,000, because now you're getting into you almost 2 miles up.
Right.
But yeah, great trip. We saw some beautiful sights. We saw grizzly bear. We saw bighorn sheep. We saw mountain goats. We saw a moose. On the last day, believe it or not, we were driving. We had left a hotel and we're driving down the road. And I looked to the left and I went, "That's a moose." Stop. So we pulled over to the side and she gets out the car and she takes some pictures because it was splashing in the lake.
Oh my gosh.
But we did whitewater rafting. That was, it was a blast. But
That's so cool.
unfortunately, we got about 2.5 days of rain.
Really?
But, I mean, God, temperatures are like 61, lows around 46, 47.
It feels like a dream compared to what's going on right now.
One day, I think it was the Monday, we went to Canada. So we went to Waterton State Park.
Nice.
We went to the Prince of Wales Hotel.
Yeah.
Talk about nice.
Oh, man.
I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. That's potential a place we will go back and stay.
Wow.
It's about $400 a night. Not bad.
Oh gosh, yeah.
But all the attendants are dressed in the kilts.
Yeah.
You look like you're in Scotland. It's
Yeah.
overlooking like this panoramic view of like multiple lakes. It looks like Loch Ness.
Yeah.
It's so funny how it all looks. But I know she's making posts each day, like day 1, and she'll have a bunch of pictures.
Yeah.
Day 2, a bunch of pictures. Day 3, and so on. So
Wow.
everybody seems to be real excited. But the big news was that I asked for her hand in marriage, and we've been dating now for about 19 months.
Wow.
And
It's been that long already.
right, yeah.
Get out.
Yeah, I never thought I would ever, because, I mean, my life has changed so radically in just a short time because 2 years ago, I wasn't thinking about this at all. At all. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I really thought I was it's just going to be me.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd ever really find anybody that would be a match for me and work well with me. And but she showed up, and
Like I say, Miranda was stuck in a tree. I had to wait till I was 55, 56 years to find her. How old are you?
I'm 55. I'll be
Maybe that's the magic. Maybe that's the magic
I'll
number.
be 50. I'll be 56 this coming week. So, so yeah, I just it's amazing how the good Lord works, and it's good things to happen to those who wait.
Yeah.
And don't settle very quickly. And some people say, "Well, Jason, maybe you didn't." You didn't move fast enough, man. But because I heard those stories when I was in my 30s quite a bit.
Yeah. I'm hearing those stories now.
Oh, of course you will. You live in a culture that basically, you should be married and you should be this and it should look like this at a certain point in your life.
My dad had 3 kids by the time he was my age.
Exactly.
It's like, oh yeah. So,
well, I mean, most men. I mean, look, my father, when he married my mom back in the early 60s, my dad was 32 years old, which was old for a man at that time to be marrying.
Yeah.
I mean, most men, probably in their early 20s.
Oh yeah.
They're getting married and starting their families. But times change, and I was just kind of somebody that was like, I'm just not gonna just kind of put myself in the box because that's kind of where everybody expects you to be.
Yeah.
And I've told many times that my life was not, I wasn't like miserable and moping around.
Yeah.
And a lot of single guys, unfortunately, a lot of the ones I've known throughout my life generally lead very destructive lives.
Yeah.
Without the grounding effect of a lady in their life. I mean, they just do. They drink too much. They either do drugs or they sleep around and they sleeping with everything that's out there, and they're miserable. And instead of there's a healthy way to live a single life.
Yeah.
And not a lot of guys can do it. They just can't. Generally, they're just very miserable. And I was very comfortable living by myself. It wasn't that I was completely just, oh my gosh, my life has no meaning. You kind of hear the story type of stuff. I wanted someone who was going to fit me, and it took literally this long in my life. So I ended up retiring. Yeah, and now preparing to get married at a time that I never thought would ever happen. Yeah. So, but I'm very happy. She's very happy. We make a good couple. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to spending the rest of my life with her, and however long the good Lord.
I'm happy for you.
How long the good Lord gives us.
And y'all are fun to hang out with too. Yeah. We like going and having dinner with y'all.
I love you, babe. So
shout out.
Oh, now I'm not the sucky one on the show. Y'all used to pick on me about being the sucky one.
Well,
oh no,
got to do the deal. Got to say those
Jason.
things. Yeah. So
hey, everyone has their moment, and that's his moment.
That's my moment. So
that's great. I'm happy for you.
Well,
I'm excited
so
for
much.
you guys.
But it was a great trip, so we had fun.
That's awesome. I'm taking off this week, and I don't have any plans.
Oh, you're going to do what they call a staycation?
Yeah.
A staycation. Well, there's nothing wrong with those. I've done those too.
This past summer has been really busy. A lot of changes happened. A lot of stuff has been in transition and all that kind of business, and so it's been. I was hoping to take off some time right after the Easter season, and it just never it didn't come to fruition because of all the stuff that was taking place. But now I think I finally have that moment, so I got to take it while I can. And I'm not, like I said, I'm talking about missing an opportunity. I almost didn't take this, but I have some people around me that were really encouraging me to no, you really need to take a break and just chill out. And I was like, all right, okay. And so I'm looking forward to that.
So what do y'all think, guys? What the topic is missed opportunities. So what are things in our lives that maybe we didn't move fast enough? We didn't grab the moment.
Yeah.
Well, most of the time, I don't regret the things that I did. And this is a quote, and I think it originally goes back to Lucille Ball.
Okay.
But it's been kind of deemed with some other people. I regret the things that I didn't do when I had the opportunity.
Yeah.
Most people regret the things they didn't do than the things that they did.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of times, I think people still, feel that, or at least conscious of the fact that, even if you make a bad mistake and you learn from that mistake, it still kind of molds you and shapes you into the person that you are. So, you can learn from the mistakes. You don't want to. Sometimes there are people that I know that do regret some actions that they've taken or some decisions they've made. For me, I've also I made some poor decisions in my day, but I think a lot of that has I was young and I was naive and I was excited and I got myself into some bad situations. And so I look back on those times and go, if I had the opportunity, I probably wouldn't do it the same way again. But I also don't regret that I made those poor decisions because I think it did kind of shape me into the person that I am now, and I think I am better for it. But you're right, though. I feel like more often than not, there are times I look back and I think of the opportunities that I didn't take that I think I regret more when I had the opportunity to.
Yeah, I think back, in my working career, maybe if I would have been a little bit more assertive, maybe a little bit bolder, maybe see some opportunities that were given to me and not necessarily be afraid, doubting your own abilities.
Yeah, a little more confident.
A little bit more confident.
Yeah.
I think maybe that would have maybe changed the trajectory of how my career played out.
Yeah.
I think back on decisions when, opportunities were presented to either lead something or do something, and I didn't do it because I was comfortable in what I was doing. And I didn't want to, you get kind of in
shake
that
the boat.
right. I didn't want to shake the boat. It was comfortable. I knew exactly what my expectations were doing this and that and everything else. And sometimes that hurts you.
Yeah.
In this particular case, I probably looking back on it now, it probably did, professionally. Not that I had a bad career, but it was just there were probably opportunities. Maybe if I would have been a little bit more, I'm gonna grab that, grab it and run with it.
Yeah.
And I didn't do that.
That's been a flaw of mine. I get comfortable.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Well, we
so,
all
like,
get comfortable.
And
I mean,
and for me, like, I think there has been moments like that for me as well, where like I could have stirred the nest up and done something, and I think really, looking back now, if I was as confident as I am right now, and I would have been a little more assertive, I think I could see that success,
Right.
or the success of what could have been if I was a little bit more assertive in that. But I was too comfortable, and I think I'm a little late to a lot of that, even though I'm still young. But there's still some things like that I've been thinking about that I'm like, man, how much further could I have gone if I just really like.
Well,
went
I
head
mean,
first,
are there things that you want to do that you're afraid to do?
Yeah. Or
Be a
skill.
pilot. He wants to be a
Yeah,
pilot.
I mean, you've talked about being a pilot and
skills that I want to learn.
I mean, maybe here it is.
Yeah.
These are these forks in the road.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur did a big survey of a number of people, and this isn't exactly equal to 100. I took some snippets of what I thought was really interesting of what people thought. Like 11% of one of their questions say they have no regrets at all.
Okay.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's freeing.
But another one, 40% regret not speaking up.
Ooh, that's a good one.
See, I like that's why I
Yeah.
took the snippets. So
Yeah,
this isn't the same question or anything.
Oh, right,
These are
right,
just snippets from it.
Because I feel that. There have been moments where like I look back on it and go, I really should have said something.
Yeah. 36% regret not visiting family or friends.
Ooh, that's also hard.
And I'm kind of glad I did this right now because this one is directed at you.
Okay.
35% regret not pursuing their dreams.
Oh.
And all of these are in action-based regrets.
Yeah.
These outweigh regrets over actions taken.
Yeah. That's
true. Interesting, though.
Yeah.
I like some of the wording of it. Okay, no regrets at all. Okay,
you're right. It's easy.
Yeah,
I feel like people can say that,
but not speaking up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because
That carries on your heart for a long time.
For me, like it conjures up moments almost instantly. You said that, and I was like, "Ooh, yeah." I know there's been some moments where like either my friend was going through something, or I feel like someone I was working with was getting was not being treated right, or like things like that. Where I'm like moments where like I know I could have intervened and said something, and I did.
But also, baby boomers, and this is where I always like to go generationally on us.
Yeah.
Still carry regrets from decades ago, thinking about them around 3 times a month.
Really?
Wow.
Millennials average weekly reflections on regrets, even older ones.
Wow.
Think about that.
Yeah.
That's just interesting. Millennials, 36%, and Gen Z, 31%, are far more likely to regret missed opportunities than Gen X, 26%, and Boomers, 10%.
Wow.
Yep. And 21% of all adults say their top financial regret is not saving for retirement early enough. Now, this is kind of weird because it goes over the generations. It's 34% for boomers, 26 for Gen X, 11 for millennials, and 5% for Gen Z. And they're not even ready to retire yet. And they're already starting to worry about
they're already regretting not starting.
I'm like, wow.
That's crazy.
Younger adults report heightened stress from these regrets. 60% Gen Z, 57% of millennials say their regret-related stress has increased compared to 38% of the boomers.
Wow. That's crazy. I feel like I like looking back at that that number about not following your dreams. I think I am right here where I am because I followed my dreams. But I think I'm at a stage in my life where things just
followed
changing.
your dreams at the time.
Well,
that doesn't mean you don't. Your dreams won't change.
And that's
or new ones will pop up.
Right, and that's what I think I'm trying to be aware of right now. Is like with this new season of my life, what does that next dream look like? What does the future hold? Is the big thing for me, and making sure I don't miss that opportunity. Making sure if there is an opportunity that I capitalize on it is the thing for me right now. And I think there are a couple. So believe me when I say I'm not. It's not that there is inaction on my part. I got to have the courage to actually make the decision to follow through with it. But there was a point in my life where like I wanted to pursue artistic endeavors. I wanted to do music. I wanted to do graphic design. I wanted to do all the stuff like I do now on a daily basis. And I had a lot of older people that were like, "That's fun and all, but like, go to college and like get a day job." Was like the kind of sentiment that I had gotten a lot.
Well,
from like, and again, I know the thing is those people. I look back now and I know that they are from a different time. Some of them aren't even around anymore, and I think they were trying to be encouraging in their own way about like, yes, I think I could follow my dreams, but at the same time, I need to be able to afford living. And at the time, I don't blame them. The digital space was a lot different, even in their time, but even 2 decades ago, give or take. And so, there was moments like that where I think I did look at signs and I did follow. There was a moment in time where I took a job, getting paid less because it was going to be hands-on, like in the field that I wanted to do, and people around me were like, "What are you doing?" I was like, I love doing this and I want to pursue this. And I think that again, I've been doing this now for probably over 10 years now. And now I think I've gotten skills and I've grown a lot and I've gotten better at it. And I'm making a lot more money than I think I would have if I wouldn't have made that decision to like I said, take a pay cut. And
well, I think a lot of people make decisions. The reality is, speaking of, like job decisions, I mean, when people are kind of figuring that out, I mean, the reality is there are a lot of things that people would love to do.
Yes.
The problem is I can't pay my bills doing that.
Oh yeah.
There is a harsh reality to life that, unless I'm willing to live a very kind of basic, primitive life, okay, maybe you can do it. But, the reality is most people, especially as they get older, they're going to want some comforts.
Oh, yeah.
That, that only if I'm making a certain income level, I'm able to do that. Unless you're just kind of one of those people that go live off in the woods.
Yep.
And I know a couple of those that, could care less. But the vast majority of people can only really do that when you're young and not when you get older, just health and all these other things. But speaking of some stats here, I mean, I'm just kind of looking at a Gallup poll in 2011. They say 90% of people say they have at least one major regret. There was another study of 2,000 adults by the University of Illinois found that the most common regrets involved romance, top of the chart, 19%.
Yep.
Family, 16%. Education, 13%. Career, 12%. And finance, 10%. And that's Roos and Somerville, 2005. They say people are more likely to regret inactions, missed opportunities over actions as time passes. So in the short term, we regret bad choices. In the long term, we regret not choosing at all, which to me I find very interesting.
Yeah.
And just some stats here from different things here, like career and work.
Yeah.
They say a LinkedIn study in 2022 found that 78% of professionals say they've missed out on career opportunities due to fear, self-doubt, or procrastination.
I'm guilty.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
61% of employees wish they had taken more professional risk earlier in their careers.
Sounds like you just said
Yeah,
that a minute
exactly.
ago.
I'll fall right into that. 70% of workers have passed on applying for a job they wanted because they felt underqualified, even if they met most of the criteria.
Yeah. Fake it till you make it.
But I think that comes into the what you were talking about earlier. I get comfortable.
Yes.
Or complacent.
Yep.
And I know I can do this and I don't have any problems.
I've
Do I
already
want to
got
make that next step and create all this stress in my
I've
life?
already got a job and I'm making good money and I can just keep on with this, or I can change it all up and either potentially make more, or I could not get it and then I've like ruined this whole it's this whole back and forth.
Yeah, they say in
Crazy.
2021, Psychology Today, a survey found over 60% of people say they still think about a missed chance at a romantic relationship. According to the regret scale developed by psychologists, romantic regrets are one of the most deepest and long-lasting because they tie to personal identity and vulnerability.
And you see, I would like to say I'm glad I missed every damn one of them until I found my hottie Dr. Miranda. I'm glad I missed every single one of them opportunities because I got my hottie doctor.
I think I'm a walking example of what you just quoted there. There was someone way back in like high school that I feel like that was like a missed opportunity for me. That I feel like there was a couple of opportunities, and if I was more confident in myself, and I think if I was a more assertive human being, I think we would be singing a different tune. But I think because of the fact that I was a bit emotionally immature and also socially awkward, that was something that never happened, and we were just really close friends for a long time. And now looking back on it, like I think it's for the best that didn't happen. But for a long time, preceding high school and into my like early 20s, it kind of nagged on me a little bit of like, man, you really had an opportunity to do something, or it's like to have a really special person in your life like that. And I because I just wasn't.
What's that song? Thank God for unanswered prayers. Because one day you're praying for it and you look back 20 years later and go, okay, that wouldn't have been a good thing. Oh, damn, I missed that one.
So now more so it's the fact that I'm like, I think it's all, I'm not saying like, I'm not saying anything bad, but it just is one of those moments where like I look back on it now and I think for the best, I am where I am right now. Because of like that whole opportunity. But like it was just one of those things that for a long time, like you said, of all the things, of all the missed opportunities that I would have looked back on, that was probably the one that lasted the longest, where I looked back on that moment going, I had a handful of opportunities to really be someone special for somebody, and I missed those opportunities because I was just awkward.
I mean, you could, it's you'll never know because we're not omnipotent, so we can't see all our choices in life at the same time and just kind of pick the best one that's going to work for us. A lot of times it's just by chance.
Yeah.
Just real quick on the education front, 13% of Americans list not getting more education as their biggest regret in life. That was a Pew Research 2016 study.
Yeah.
And they say in a study of adults over 50, 1/3 say they regret not studying something different or pursuing their true passion academically. I probably would have done something different in college.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I would have gone with a different degree than I got.
What was it?
I would have probably gone into like accounting or business administration or something versus criminal justice. I just don't think that really did anything.
Yeah.
But, you're not thinking of it at that time. You just kind of go with it.
Yeah.
Just real quick on the science front here, I found it's interesting. It says neuroimaging shows increased activity in the orbitofrontal cortex when people reflect on actions they didn't take. So there actually is some scientific evidence there to show that the brain is doing something.
Yep.
If
I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, I'm not a brain doctor by any means, but I think that's the same part of your brain that deals with how you are perceived by others. When you start to think about yourself and how you are perceived by other people, that's the area of your brain that also kicks in, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of that in like the music space, whenever you finally let yourself go and not worry about what people are thinking about what you're playing and just like get into the zone, that area of your brain shuts down or calms down a lot because you're able to like let go and not think about how you're being the perception of you. I was trying to think of the right word.
Yeah, I'll be very curious how COVID, all the shutdowns nationwide around the world, how that affected young people, because I think they're the ones who got impacted. The long term, I'd be very curious what the long term effects will show as they age.
All the effects of COVID, I feel like lasted. What was it, like 2-3 years?
Yeah,
or 3-4 years or something.
And I'm telling you, it varied depending on what state you lived in, because some states were a lot more kind of draconian than other states were. I mean, some states just kind of kept on going. Other states, it was like you were locked in your house.
Yeah.
I mean,
for us, we still had stuff going on probably 2 or 3 years afterwards, at least like out and about, but maybe not so strict. But what I'm saying is like that is potentially someone's entire like high school career, like 3 to 4 years. So like you're like, just to kind of reinforce what you're talking about, it's like you talk about young people and how it affected them if they're going into high school during COVID.
Well, think about it when we had your mother here talking about homeschooling and how that sometimes can socially make kids not ready to hit the real world if not done appropriately.
Because it's a little overwhelming.
It's a little overwhelming. Now you just had 4 years of that shit. Now you're going to have all of these kids all of a sudden back into school and now going into the real world. Yeah. It's gonna have some impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at some breakdown by generation of some. I know Stoney touched on some of this. Gen Z, I see 42% regret not choosing a different major or skill path earlier. That's from a source called Handshake, 2023. Travel and experience, COVID-19 impacted the coming of age experience. It's kind of what we just talked about, how that's going to kind of play into the psyche of that generation.
Think about it, spring break.
Yeah. Which would have been kind of that's a rite of passage.
That's a rite of passage.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and entrepreneurial risk. A growing number express regret not starting a content creation or business venture while young.
Which is kind of weird because that's what everybody did during COVID. Exactly. It was everybody doing content.
I can't shame anybody because that was me.
Right. I think it's just these are kind of the general numbers. One a key driver in that is fear of judgment, lack of confidence, and pressure to follow a safe path. Come to some of the things we've talked about. For millennials, 67% wish they had taken more risk earlier in their career. That's from the Jobless Career Regret Survey of 2023. Also, many regret not investing earlier.
Oh yeah. I've thought about that earlier. Times.
Yep. Are being too passive with their money in their 20s. And then when it comes to relationships and marriage, postponement culture has led to regrets around the one that got away.
Mm-hmm. Guilty.
A key driver in these numbers, career pressure, economic instability, student debt, which it's all there. Gen X, many regret not pursuing more or different education earlier in life. That I feel that. when it comes to like businesses and stuff, 47% say they regret not starting their own business. Vista Print Entrepreneur Survey of 2019. Also, there's another one here it'd be work-life balance. Regrets over prioritizing work over time with family or personal passions. You can see that. These some of the key drivers in these numbers: cultural push towards stability, corporate ladder mindset. Very much a part of my generation of, you got to put the time in, you got to work the hours, you got to do all these things to make things happen. Baby boomers, I don't remember studying. He says they 70% regret not spending more time with their children or aging parents. And then, I think many wish they had been bolder in their youth, traveling more, writing that book, taking that leap. And of course, all those pressures of social expectations. The pressures that you need to be at a certain point, you need to look like this. At a certain point, you need to look like this. It's, we kind of box our lives in, of what it should look like at a certain point in your life. And if you're not that, then you kind of looked at as, well, you're kind of a goofball. You just are.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Wow.
So it's, I'll tell you, inaction. A 2022 survey by YouGov showed that inaction is more common regret than wrong actions for every generation. So there must be something there going on with just being human, that you take a chance. If you fail, you fail.
Yeah.
In the long run,
it seems like
you learn from it.
It seems like, I guess what I'm taking away from this too is like, even if you take the chance and fail, the fact that like you are probably more willing to forgive yourself in the long run is better than if you were to not do it. Of course, beat yourself up for it for many years.
Yeah.
So.
Well, not doing something adds a whole different mentality. Okay, I didn't do it. Well, would I have been strong enough to do it? Would I have done this?
Yeah.
If you tried
You can
something,
what if,
you can, you what if yourself to death. If you tried something, you can go, okay, well, I tried it. And okay, here's a list of things that I can see where I might have messed up, or maybe it wasn't even my fault.
Right.
Okay. But if you don't do it, you just quadrupled the list of reasons it didn't happen. Yeah. What could have been.
Yeah.
That's
true.
There's I can say,
a big thing for me, to bring it back around to what you were talking about, or poking fun at a little bit with the idea of me wanting to do, get my pilot's license and potentially pursue that, is like, for me, the what if that keeps like I keep hitting my head up against is like, if I really move into that career, like I have to really work for it. Like I have to really do all the schooling and do all the prep for it.
Right.
It's going to cost a lot of money. And then for me, I don't have anybody firsthand in my life. I have a few friends and people that I've talked to more recently, but as of a few months ago, I didn't have anybody firsthand that I could talk to that like lives that lifestyle, that I could be like, if I really go into this whole new venture and spend all this money, is that the kind of lifestyle I want to live, of like, or is that a career that I'd be like comfortable in, like that kind of stuff. Like again, the what if of like, what if this? Am I smart enough for that? Do I have enough money? Like that's the kind of stuff that's been. So it's very true, like what you're saying, and so that's been the big thing for me. But I have some more confirmation now that I feel like I have people in my life that have encouraged me. Now the big thing for me is just making sure like, if I do it, I got the money, and I got to make sure because that's the big thing. Is like once the money runs dry, they cut you off, and there's no more progression, which makes sense, But
there's always, if pilot school is something that you're really are getting a tug on the heart to do, maybe think about possibly taking a little small loan out and just using that as a springboard to go take the lessons and learn. I don't know what sort of pilot you want to be. Is it like a Cessna type pilot? Or are you looking at twin engine, potentially jet or something along those lines? I know a lot of people. That's why I knew a couple guys that they went into the military
Yeah.
that because no way
Oh,
you
yeah.
let Uncle Sam
Let him pay for the
let him
lessons.
pay for that.
I've told many people there's probably, if alternate realities are a real thing that exists, there is an alternate reality version of myself not too far off where I got out of high school, worked a few odds and ends jobs, and then joined the Navy to go fly jets and like go fly like fighter pilots, or at least go work on them in some capacity, or go
Right.
be in that space, because that's, oh man, there's like a deep love for that kind of Top Gun type vibe. Like, oh yeah,
obviously, then there's
So-
that might be something there. Ian, you maybe have
dude.
to.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm not sure if I want to join the Navy now, but
Well,
there was a point in
no,
time
I mean,
where I feel
joining the
like,
service, that's a whole different
Yeah,
ballgame.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, people take lessons all the time
Mm-hmm.
and learn to fly. I mean, it's something can be done if
Yep.
that's something you really want to do, and then you
I've-
know,
I-
learn and then maybe get hired on
Yes.
by a contracting company
Yeah.
or some company that you fly them around. I've got a friend of mine who does that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think he works for some sort of contracting company.
The-
Flies all the execs all over the
Oh, yeah.
country and wherever.
I had a friend did it all over the world. He probably had the most Gulfstream hours of anybody. And that's what he did.
Yeah.
He flew these people. They had, I think, 2 or 3 jets and flew them all over the world.
There
Yep.
was
And he
two,
had 2 credit cards.
it was, oh gosh.
He never paid for anything.
Oh yeah, dude.
Once they got on the plane,
Yeah.
it was done. Meals, lodging, everything.
Mm.
And then when he got off the plane, he was back on his world. But
Right.
when they got on it to go wherever they had to go,
Yep.
he made good money. He did
yeah.
really well. But he was a Gulfstream pilot, and I have some great pictures and videos.
You show me,
and stuff.
yeah. Oh, so
That-
cool.
He would send me the stuff all the time. He'd put a little GoPro behind his shoulder and say,
Yeah.
"Look at this shit." And I'm like, "Yeah."
That's cool. There's been 2 opportunities for me to go up like and do some test flights to see how I would feel and like, you know, potentially start like the course in some capacity, but the weather hasn't permitted it because over the past few months the
You know,
rain
I
was
think
crazy.
I just saw this the Blue Angels.
Yeah.
I think can't you like pay to get you need to go
Oh man.
and let
That's-
them
yeah,
take you
yeah.
up if it costs you $2,000
Yeah.
let them take you in the air and see if it inspires you enough.
As I said, it
man.
depends on what kind of plane you want to fly.
I'm scared of
because
that because I think I would love it too much.
Well, there you see that
I've-
that's a telltale
yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
I mean,
You
I've
see?
been in a single engine Cessna
Oh,
before,
yeah.
and that's a different type
It
than
is.
getting on a jet.
It
I mean,
is.
it's a whole different ball game. So it
Yeah.
all depends on what you want to do.
Right,
I
well,
mean,
and these test flights I'm talking about is kind of that like preemptive stuff where like if you come back down from that and are still really
You like
jiving,
it?
then they can start the next
Right.
process of like what is the next step. But like I said, the 2 times that in the past few weeks that it would have happened, though it's been this summer has been crazy with rain, and so I've missed those opportunities. Have been missed not from inaction on my part, but because of extraneous circumstances. So, but I'm consistent though, and hopefully I'm thinking with some of this free time now that I have a whole week off, I may try and sneak my way over there and see if they're available at some point when the weather's if the weather's decent this week.
or you can join one of those clubs that people that get in those little, you sit in the little cart with the parachute with with the propeller on the back or something like that. And
Yeah, they're called
ultralights or
parasails.
ultralight,
Ultralights,
something like
ultralights.
whatever.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine at work that
That
used
may
to
be a
do
little bit
that.
too much for me.
He used to do that all the time. He said, "Man, he had a blast doing it."
Yeah.
But he worked.
I think I would. That sounds.
He was
like
an IT guy.
Yeah.
That's what he did. That was his hobby.
That sounds like the motorcycles of planes for me. Where it's
Yeah,
like
well-
I like a car, but a motorcycle gets a little too scary. I think.
Well, I
Where I
think,
like having
I
some.
think anytime you're in the air and something goes wrong, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
the chances are it's probably
Well,
not going to be good by the
yes.
time you hit the ground. But I mean, it's just the way
But I
it
think
is.
I think I'm more comfortable with
Flying is still safer than driving.
Oh, it is. Statistically, it is.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, what is the odds of being in a plane crash versus
I don't know.
a car crash? Can anyway, I'll look
I
that
think
up. I'm
also-
Well,
curious.
I do know one statistic that for every American, no matter where you are in America, okay, no matter where you are on the continental United States of America, you have a greater chance of being killed by the Clinton family than you do getting eaten by a great white shark.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's a real statistic. If you take all of the people supposedly that the Clintons have killed since he was a governor and blah, 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 with all of her stuff and his stuff as president, based off of how many attacks there are by sharks, you got any American, no matter where you are, has a greater chance.
So I think from just some quick Google searching, it says the odds of being in a fatal plane crash is around 1 in 11 million, while the odds of dying in a fatal car crash are about 1 in 5,000.
Yeah, so quite a bit.
Significant.
Yeah.
And I think from what I've heard that some of those numbers may not be completely accurate as far as like the plane situation, because I think that I'm not sure how they measure that, but still I think that
that's still significant enough to,
significant,
you know, if it's off 4 or 5%.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, it's just it's a bad day for you if you just happen to be in that
situation,
you know, that number comes up and you just happen to be in the air when that happens. It's like that flight that disappeared.
Oh,
to me, I always feared the idea of crashing into the water in an airplane. I just thought that would be horrifying.
Yeah,
you know, I'd just be like, oh my gosh, we're in the middle of the ocean.
Well, I don't want to. I've learned a little bit about this. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing to tell you in that moment, but like the odds of a plane crashing in the water and you surviving are even lower. Like the second like a big plane actually hits the water, like
water is concrete.
Yes, and
water is concrete, and it does not move. You think it moves.
Yeah.
It does not move.
Right, but I think that there are fewer situations where landing in the water has.
I mean, if they can purposely try to land the plane on water, I think those planes are like jetliners are designed to temporarily float.
Yeah.
So, but it would have to be a purpose like the guy in the Hudson River did.
Scully,
like he did, which was absolutely incredible. But
and boy, they chewed him up.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of investigation, they chewed him up.
I'm sure they did.
Hello, I just saved all these people.
That's right. So what's the alternative here? You know, so we planes in the water. You know, we all got out of here. We're here talking about it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there'd be a bunch of funerals. So,
but that's a lot of stuff with the FAA. A lot of times they like to make sure
they
that
what they got to do.
Yeah.
So, but
because again, I think it was probably a few months back, probably a month or two back, they had that Indian airliner that in the process of like taking off just lost all thrust and just like plowed into a building, like that kind of stuff. Where like I don't think that they have a full. I could be wrong now. They could have a better understanding, but again, of things like that, where like no one made it out of that plane crash alive, and it's like, what happened? And I think a lot of it could be mechanical failure, but I think there is some user error as well. And that's the thing is with those kind of situations, they gruel into those people being like, was this like a unpreventable thing? Was this a mistake on your part kind of thing? So, but anyways, but yeah.
Is there any other regrets? Any things that,
well, we've been talking about a lot of personal stuff.
Yeah.
But there are some missed opportunities in the world that I thought were kind of interesting. And let me see if I can get to my notes on this right here.
I wonder how many there's been a lot of people in history that have like really changed history based on a decision. And
that's kind of where I want to go.
Yeah.
If I just gotta, sorry guys.
No, you're good.
My brain damage is just like kicking my ass.
I was watching a video recently about some like during the Cold War, like people made some decisions that did not cause action to happen, and how like the world could have basically been a different place because of like if someone said if the vote was a yes on all three fronts, then like we could have been in like in a nuclear war that would have
what's
hold on. Okay. I found my stuff here. Okay, the first missed opportunity, Nikola Tesla's free energy system. Okay, that was J.P. Morgan defunded it because he realized he couldn't make a profit from it, so we didn't go that far. How about Xerox ignoring its own invention, the personal computer?
Mm.
You remember that? They said, I know.
Yeah.
They let Apple and Microsoft turn it into the future, and they became a footnote instead of a,
Yeah.
what they, how about Kodak passing on the digital camera? Kodak, an engineer in Kodak, invented the digital camera in 1975 and shelved it because they feared it would hurt film sales.
Oh, yeah.
And
here we are.
Yeah, here we are, and I mean, there's a couple more like that are just really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
What could have been?
Blockbuster could have bought Netflix for $1 million at one time. And now Netflix is almost everything, and you don't even see Blockbuster. What, they got one Blockbuster store left open?
Yeah. Yeah, the encyclopedia.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? I mean, they were, I forget.
That's how I studied for a test.
World Book Encyclopedia, I believe.
Yeah.
What company, I forget, I asked, was going to make it digital. And, of course, they said, I ain't doing all that. And guess what happened?
In 1998. And then again in 2002, Yahoo passed on buying Google for $1 million. And now they're worth over $3 billion.
It's incredible.
That's some missed opportunities.
Well, I mean, think about it. People, in the beginning, buying Apple stock.
Yes. Yes.
Microsoft I mean, can you imagine if back when it first started, imagine that stock was as cheap as all get out. I mean, you'd be a gazillionaire right now if you could go back in time and learn from that mistake but you don't know. I mean, as I said, it's a chance.
That's what this conversation's about.
It's a chance.
Missed opportunities.
It's missed opportunities. Here's some additional stats I found.
Just before you continue, just to kind of put in reference, you just made that comment about the Apple stock specifically.
Yeah.
It says back in 1980, the initial investment of $1,000 would be a net worth of over $2.1 million today.
That's what I'm saying.
So
but $1,000 in 1980, that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Especially
Especially
with what's this stuff?
A computer company?
Company. What is this all about? So, on the health front here, it said in a Blue Cross Blue Shield survey, 63% of adults over 55 regret not taking their health more seriously in their 20s and 30s.
We've had a couple episodes, I think, on that about people and different.
Yeah, 1 in 4 say they regret not traveling more when they were younger.
Yep.
And had fewer obligations. That's from an AARP travel trend survey.
Well, we said
2022
in another episode here recently that the younger generations are going for more memories than stuff.
Yeah,
right.
They're wanting to do that traveling. They're wanting to do those things because stuff doesn't matter anymore.
Well, and I feel like from personal experience, I've heard numerous times from people that have been my parents' age or even people that are my age that are now having children. They're like, go travel, go on adventures now before you have kids. And I was like, oh gosh. Like the more they talk about it, the more like it gets harder and it gets more expensive. But not to say it's impossible, but like that's
it's damn near impossible.
That's one sentiment that I've heard numerous times is like, take that trip, take that experience while you can.
Here's another one when it comes to relationships and personal connection. 61% of divorced people say they regret not going to counseling earlier.
Wow.
Or not fighting harder to save their marriage. That's the National Fatherhood Initiative 2020.
Wow.
I can see that. I've talked to several people that just gave up on a marriage too soon, or they just didn't want to put the work into it. But back to the education thing, and I kind of mentioned about degrees. It says of those with college degrees, 23% say they regret their choice of major, particularly in the humanities or social sciences. Social sciences. That's from the Federal Reserve 2022.
Interesting.
So, and look, I get it. We've had this discussion with college and the amount of debt that people have gotten themselves in with degrees that are basically
worthless.
they're not even worth the paper they're on.
Yeah.
And so you shouldn't be able to get a loan for a schooling that can't support yourself.
I would probably agree with that. Today, I would say that yes, you should. To me, the degrees that are actually going to kind of move the country forward technologically in the sciences and the math, and unfortunately,
and see, and I think there should be some that are paid for. If you want to become a teacher,
right?
I think right there, your education, and then you have to sign a contract for 10 years to be a teacher.
Right.
Okay, I got law enforcement. Got no problem with that. Those type of things that can benefit society.
Yeah.
That's where you should have a free education. All these little libtards running around going, "Ooh, I want a degree in basket weaving, and I want the government to pay for it."
I mean,
Screw that.
You get into these like gender studies, and
basket weaving does not benefit anybody.
I think some of that stuff is just kind of, I can't even believe they even offer degrees in there. But as I said, because colleges have now just become a money thing.
There's courses
nothing about what their
on
original
Taylor
mission was.
Swift now. You can take classes on Taylor Swift. Really?
Crazy.
Major college credited classes.
All right.
Yeah.
Now I'm not against Taylor Swift.
It's just
I'm
a big
more
show.
against what would this class benefit somebody in their schooling? Oh, it's an elective.
It's
really?
a lot of it now too is about, it's more so about numbers and demographics and all that kind of stuff more than it is about actual education. I've been talking to a lot of people about that recently, about how if you are a qualified person, you may not make it in because they have to have a certain demographic of people around. And if there's too many of your demographic, then they're not going to. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, you have a qualified person. Anyways, it doesn't. It's another topic for another day, but
Yeah, they say 49% of American workers regret not negotiating their salary in the first job.
Wow.
That was a Robert Half survey in 2022. And they say 43% of professionals regret not changing careers earlier in life. ZipRecruiter of 2023 study.
And now they change it every 2 years.
Yeah, well, I just think the nature of, unfortunately, the workplace has changed, especially corporate.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're always more valuable to the competition. So I mean, it's just
those lower level
and
positions.
and unfortunately, it's just in the modern corporate world, there's no loyalty.
Yeah.
So you wonder why employees have no loyalty to the companies, because companies really have no loyalty to the employees.
Yeah. Right. It doesn't help that those lower level positions.
Oh, I found that one out, didn't I?
Yep.
And I just saw that California they lost like 18,000 jobs because of the new minimum wage kicked in.
Oh, really?
And then AI is starting to take over a lot of those
functions.
functions.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
So yeah,
I think a lot of those lower level positions are meant to be, they're meant to rotate out quickly.
They're starter jobs. They're kids getting out of high school or in high school, and they're not careers. They're supposed to teach you some basics in life, some money management, some responsibilities to, having leaders, to becoming a leader, and then, year or two later, hey, go find a job you're supposed to be in. Now you got 30, 40, 50, 60-year-olds going, I can't support myself.
Well,
go get a real job.
Well, I think fundamentally this is the question that is going to confront society as AI. See, the big talk was how the blue-collar jobs disappeared.
Yeah.
Well, now the white-collar jobs are disappearing. So I'll be very curious how that plays out within those circles. Is it, what do they tell people in the blue-collar world? Well, just go learn programming,
Yeah.
Like, not everybody can program. So my
right. Or nobody wants to.
Now the white collar gets to go learn how to dig a ditch, don't they?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, so what are people to do?
Yeah.
There's just more people than there are jobs.
Yes.
So,
and that's why Bill Gates has the answer of killing 2/3 of the people on the planet through vaccinations and fertility control.
well, I mean, it's It's obvious.
Because he's waiting for this
Well, I mean,
time.
right now, the world population keeps growing. I think it's like at 8 billion now. So and the projections are to be even more.
Right.
So
If that's even real.
that's true.
I'm
That's true.
I'm
How you determine world populations, I don't know.
I'm
but,
making a
I
nod
mean,
to a previous episode we did.
Yeah,
And a
but-
potential future episode. I think
potential future
I think we talked
episode.
about China. I think we had on the
right.
board.
You know, them being supposedly the most populous country for forever.
Yeah.
I think India's just passed them up.
Yeah, India passed him up sometime last year, I believe.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah.
Well, I'm curious to hear about people's missed opportunities or people's
Let us
feelings.
know your
Yeah.
missed opportunity. You can send it to us on our email or something, and let us know your missed opportunity.
Yeah, we got comment sections on Spotify and YouTube. For anybody who wants to leave us comments there, I want to appreciate everybody who listens to us on all the platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. We got a whole bunch of different places and all the other different platforms as well. I think there's a lot of different areas where you can either like or rate. So again, that kind of stuff helps the show out. In
And
its own
sometimes it
way.
says,
So-
send us a text.
yeah, or
You
something.
can click
yeah.
on that. Send us a text.
Anyways,
Share the podcast.
Yes.
Yes, please share it with somebody.
Yeah, especially if you feel like this one hit you in a special place, because I know this one did for me. We also have the website.
Yes, retrospectpodcast.com.
Yes. And with that being said, until next week, thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone. God bless.
There's this lie that we sometimes believe, that we missed our one shot, that the train left the station, that it's too late. But here's the truth. Life rarely works that way. Sure, you missed that opportunity. Maybe you didn't call when you should have, or you ignored your gut, or settled when you should have stood up. But redemption, it's still on the table. Life has a way of offering new doors, but you have to be willing to see them. And sometimes they don't look like the shiny, perfect options we dreamed of. They look like second chances, hard conversations, or scary new roads. But they're real, and they're yours if you're willing to risk again. So take a break, stop rehearsing the past, and ask yourself, what door could I walk through now if I stop waiting for the perfect one I already missed? You're the best. Peace.